I did yap for quite a bit. Honestly, I don't even know if we can actually do Starro with all the things that's been happening. Because I wanted to use divination to figure out what's been happening on the VTuber space. There you see it. That is my talent deck. Now you can see it clearly. There's so many things that's happening in the crazy Vshojo space. I'm pretty sure most of you have already heard it as well. We smudge, right? I smudged just before the stream as well to make sure that my reading will be more accurate and the residue of my previous reading would not be there. The funny thing is, on Monday night where I did do a reading for myself, this was even before any of those things happened, and it showed that joining an agency would be very catastrophic for me. We talking like betrayal. Doing it all by yourself, kind of like cards that kept appearing. Tanking everything, basically. Most of the cards signify that joining an agency will just lead to more stress and you have to do everything by yourself, including betrayal, because of mismanagement. Which let me wonder what the heck is going on? Why are all the reads so bad? It was insanely bad. Like a 10 of swords, which showed that a person has been stabbed in the back way too much and they're on the floor, kissing the floor, making out with it. And you know who's actually represented in the Fate Grand Order series, the 10 of Swords? It was Archer, being stabbed in the back so many times all throughout his life as a heroic servant. So I tried to understand what led to this, and it was 7 of Pentacle reverse, which oversight, lack of planning, and bad systems. Very, very bad systems. It was kind of crazy as to why the whole energy of it was being so fucking bad. What? Why is it so bad? I don't understand. Shouldn't joining an agency be good? I was contemplating on joining an agency so that they can help me out in terms of streamlining the things I do and strategizing content with me. But then all these cards come out and I'm like, oh my god. There's no way, right? Come on. You know what? Maybe I'll sleep on it and then try again, to really reevaluate what's going on. The next thing I wake up, I see why I'm leaving Vshojo, and I'm like, oh my god. What charity fraud? Huh? And then suddenly, the girls are leaving as well, one by one, and then K-san at the very same night. So, Japanese CEO-san, what's happening? I need answers. Then he's like, no, actually, Vshojo Japan is doing very well. So, but I can't say the same for the English side. So desu ne. So, if Japan Vshojo doing well, are you getting paid? Yes, he said. And then, so desu ne. I see. I'm leaving Vshojo. Very sugozing. 10-10. Queen right there. He couldn't even refute a reason as to why they're not being paid. It's so crazy. The business practices is so wow. I do not know what the fuck is going on. Over in the management side, Military no longer, he won't be that much longer either. Yeah, but they came in, they collected the money, and they're going to leave. The worst part about this kind of things is that because of how big our world is and how fast-paced the industry is, things like that can easily be overshadowed. It's just a matter of time. It doesn't feel like people are gonna be held accountable at all. Honestly, this made me think maybe in Silverville near there's some sort of future dumpster fire that was about to happen. They didn't really saw the future dumpster fire. They saw the contract and decided to leave. Now, this kind of situations, I've seen what Connor mentioned before, and it's very easy to tell what bad business practices they had. Connor, in his very nice MS Paint, drew a simple foundation of how an agency should work. Typical agencies take maybe 10 to 20%, right? 30 is really, aging really bad. But from what I might have heard is that Vshojo takes more than 30. I don't know exact numbers, but I think they take more than 30, which is precisely why the 3 girls left, because they saw the new contract. Because they take way too much for a company that's only supposed to be backing them up in terms of finding sponsorship, bringing them to events, and managing their content. I feel like if you take more than 30%, it's far too much. 60-40 split. Yeah, I've heard that too. It's a 60-40, which is insane, considering that they pay their own models too. It's the same goes for the big agencies as well. I heard that the 60-40 split comes from reference to the bigger agency, which is absolutely crazy. Normally, this kind of thing will work because the agency is also dedicating funds for their art, their content. So any extra assets, I believe, goes through the agency, which is okay, fair deal, right? If it's 60-40 and they cover all of their art assets, the things they commission, the models and everything, then it does make some sense, right? It does make some sense until it doesn't, because the corpo side, I've heard their overhead got way too high. Mainly because of a lot of bad hires. If you see the Twitter space, there's been numerous accounts of people mentioning that their newer hires from Vshojo side kept using the talents as social climbing assets, whereby they were doxing the people behind the models. They were using them to climb the social ladder in networking parties and gatherings, which is disgusting. I'm really curious as to what the fuck happened to Gunrun. Like, what led to this? I want to use Tara to understand his thought process. I'm gonna do two different reading spreads. One, I'm gonna look at the upper management to see what the fuck is happening in there. And another one, I wanna look directly at the CEO himself. Alright, the first card. This is for the upper management of Vshojo, so we can understand what's going on in their head. Alright, bam! Now, for those who do not know, this card is Strength! But in reverse. That's exactly what you think it is. It is abuse! Abuse of power! Upper strength normally means, literally like strength from within, finding like the resilience in yourself, courage, strength, persuasion, influence, compassion. The good form. But, exactly in reverse, it is a lot of like, raw emotions flying about everywhere. Bullshit. Major setbacks, which is exactly true. We were looking as to what the fuck is happening on the upper management. So, massive level of overconfidence, that led to all this bullshit here. Major setbacks be happening on the upper management on the Vshojo side, and it is vital that... Oh! They're playing the blame game now. It's pretty chaotic inside. They are very likely pointing fingers at each other at the moment and giving into a lot of emotions. Strength comes from a very high position of a person who has the compassion, courage, and influence. But because it's reversed, this becomes egoistic. So remember, we talked about the people who were social climbing a lot, using leverage, Vshojo insider influence leverage to social climb. That is the ego of the reverse strength. Now, I'm gonna get a second card to see what led to this, right? So the second card is... Holy shit, that is so much reverse today! Now, for the second card, it is the Page of Swords reversed. Normally, swords people are pages, so they're in a way similar to the Fool, whereby they're starting a journey as well. All pages, because they are new to this, they're a page of their craft. They are new people with potential to grow normally. But however, this is reverse, which highlights three important things that really feeds off the ego part of the reverse strength. The keywords here we are talking about are self-expression. Very good at expressing themselves to people, often in a very egoistic way. Very good at talking, Because of that, they're so expressive of the shit they have. It often leads to this: all talk, no action. Major incompetence. So all the things they've been doing has been mainly just stupid, haphazard. Nothing being actually done. They are just banking in networking profile of the people they know and doing lots of self-expression, aka flexing. And because of that, that led to the upper management being more and more incompetent to actually do things, bringing in the wrong people. The first few years seems to be pretty okay with Vshojo, but over time, as VTubing grew as an industry and Vshojo became bigger and bigger and bigger, they started to twist in a direction whereby it became more for themselves, the people that they are bringing in and working with, rather than for the talents. And this feel like it happened on the second year when they started holding auditions, when realistically those auditions was a nepotism hire. You can call me out for it, but it is what it is. Everyone that they work with have a major established fan bases, so they're just bringing in people they know they can make money with, so that it can also show this status to fellow people, investors, and high-profile people in their networking parties. This card highlights the state that led to their current energy or the current upper management being major shit show. It's unfortunate that it became like this, but it is what it is. People called it out on when it happened, but no one wanted to listen because reputation. A lot of people I know looked at Vshojo as a beacon of hope that because all of the big English indies who used to be indies are now in there, they were hoping that with this company, they could also, it was a beacon of hope for many smaller creators too. Get in there, become friends with everyone, your network increases, and your career is set as a VTuber. So this card just reinforces the reverse strength as indicated out by our first card. Sometime down the road, when they started holding auditions, was when their cards started to fade, which is absolutely sad. Now we can look at the third card together and we can understand something a little more about what the fuck has been their motivations to do all this. Like what? Wow man, we're on a roll for reverse card! Ta-da! The Knight of Pentacles! Now this being Pentacles is of course money. Money! Upwork of Knight of Pentacles represents hard work, positivity, routine, and being conservative. Not the word conservative, being upright. But because it is in reverse, their motivations, boredom and being too perfectionist. Well, the keywords to work here for the Knight of Pentacles is the self-discipline, boredom, feeling stuck, and perfectionism. But when it comes to this, it's a routine. It's a routine that they are way too familiar with. Two things: routine and being overly perfectionist, meaning you cannot take critique at all. So it's a mix of a routine they're already familiar with. They don't want to change their routine. Oh gosh. This just highlights that they just wanted to keep the money flowing, aka their routine. And yes, exactly, they went down a path that no one could follow. After the money kept coming in, their routine of spending, showing off, and just hiring the wrong people, because that's the vibe and energy that they were vibing with, kept going. They wanted that unlimited power. Because of how perfectionist they are of the routine they already have, they were not willing to listen to any negative feedbacks at all. So anyone who voiced something out, their capabilities, their routine, what they're doing, they critically shut them down. Which also explained why several key members of Vshojo were leaving in the past. The upper management just could not take their yapping or their disagreement face value to change how they do things in the company. That's why talent managers left. That's why co-founder left. That's why the other talents kept leaving, because they're already too used to a routine that they already had. That's why they went down that path that no one could follow. Now we're gonna look at the fourth card, which is the base card that goes under the first card, because it highlights what has been supporting all of this bullshit. And we have our first upright card. No way. Hope pain. Oh fuck. Oh man, I don't know what to say about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 of Cups. Oh man, I feel bad. You know why I feel bad? It's because the 6 of Cups represents reliving the past, innocence, and joy. While they've been supporting all of this, I think this basically highlights Mouth and the other girls, but primarily Mouth. This can be supported is because of the efforts of the other people. The people have came in to make Vshojo what they were, and they held on so long because of what Vshojo has done in the past for the talents. Be it bringing Mouth to the events, helping her organize the charity things, and helping her to do things right. She held on very long. A lot of it also can be highlighted because she was living on past events that happens, and basically it was from a time where Vshojo was doing their job as Vshojo, when Mr. Gunrun had a more active role in managing Vshojo because he was doing a lot of things by himself. Another funny thing is that the 6 of Cups in a more financial reading or career reading, it does highlight abundance of money coming from a source, and this source is the talents. The talents were primarily holding all of this bullshit up that led to the upper management being like this, because the talents do all the hard work and they are so busy doing the hard work of bringing in the dough, making things happen with their community, and finally doing content while still managing the stream, or stuff, all the other things. They didn't really want to hold them accountable. But the reason that they held on so long, despite not being paid, is because of all the things that they used to do for them in the past. Because the girls are grateful for what Vshojo has done in the past. That's why they held on this long. Until they committed charity fraud. The 6 of Cups indicates all of the talents are the ones just holding all this bullshit up. And because of that, they were the ones bringing in the dough. basically. It's a little bit sad that the pillar that is supporting the upper management is the residing good memories of what they have done for them in the past before they became this. It is what it is, and it's wild that they can treat them this way. Now, final card. Oh, that's wild. Now, the final card is what they should be doing next to, like, rectify this issue. And I think it's a very appropriate card because it does talk about being a queen. Shown as by Natasha from Honkai Star Rail. It talks about being actually compassionate, you little shit. Try being compassionate, you dumb fuck. Basically, the Queen of Cups upright talks about being compassionate, caring, emotionally stable, and intuitive, being in the flow of things. But in hindsight, this is, it's no shit, right? Being compassionate, give a shit about the people you're working with, and then being in flow and owning up to it, having actual compassion, maybe giving up the money that you supposedly embezzled, or what's remaining left of it. Own it and be compassionate. It feels like it's straightforward. That's the next step. And for the card to actually come out and say this is just... It's kind of ironic that this is like duh, but at the same time, because of all the energy, the heat, everyone's so angry, everyone needs answers, everyone blah, 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 that this feels like it needs to be said, but it doesn't come up in our head because we are all just very... Me and myself is very blinded by my own anger of the company. That's the thing. They need to be in flow and proportionate to the damage they have done. The Queen of Cups talk about being in the flow and intuitive. So you have to understand what the scut you have done for yourself and actually have some compassion to own and maybe give back. Close the company if needed because you have done irreparable damage in the VTubing industry. People are no longer gonna look agencies the same way again. So this is the tarot spread for the Vshojo upper management. I don't think I need to do one on Mr. Gunman because I feel like this explains everything that has been happening inside. But this is what it is. Ta-da! Hello, Yui here. Thank you for enjoying my stuffies. If this video has brightened up your day or put a smile on your face, do consider to do the logarithm stuffies. That means liking, subscribing, and commenting in this YouTube video. If you wish to show me more love, do check out my Patreon. Every single support in there goes to making more content in this channel and paying my editor, Zaki, who's definitely not living in my basement. In turn, you'll get early previews, behind the scenes stuffies, but most importantly, cosplay culture, which I know a lot of you are into. I also stream Mondays to Thursdays in Twitch, 11 PM EDT. So come over and check me out sometime.